Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for our webinar on World Council Digital Marketing Opportunities. My name is Katie Hockmuth, Event Marketing Manager at the World Council of Credit Unions. In today's session, attendees will learn about how World Council of Credit Unions partnered with Feather to offer digital advertising to help sponsors reach our audience, grow their brand awareness, and drive sales. We are excited to offer this new service to help our partners and sponsors drive brand awareness and engagement with our website audience. Our presenter today is Mike Kesselring, Digital Sponsorship Manager at Feather. Feather helps organizations grow, engage, and convert their digital audiences. Mike works with these organizations and their industry partners to grow their brand and reach a targeted audience with trackable digital exposure. If you have any questions throughout the session, be sure to enter them at the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen, as we will have time to address them at the end of the presentation. Finally, today's webinar is being recorded and will be available on World Council's YouTube channel, youtube.com/WOCCU, later today. Without further ado, I'll turn it over to Mike.
All right, thank you, Katie. Thank you everybody for being here. I know your time is valuable, and I'm sure everyone has been on quite a few Zoom meetings over the past year and a half. So I appreciate you jumping on one more to learn about the World Council's new digital ad retargeting. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And as Katie mentioned, we're talking about generating brand awareness with strictly your ideal customer, which hopefully by this point you have identified the World Council's audience to be super valuable to you, a very rich niche audience that can purchase your products and services. So a couple bullet points here about why we're talking about ad retargeting. As Katie mentioned, this is trackable digital exposure. With some sponsorships, it can be kind of nebulous to sort of track and measure what you've done and what your ROI has been. So with this, you can track along with a digital report, which I will walk through later. Like I said, this is a qualified audience that you're not just reaching at events, you're actually able to keep your brand in front of this audience year round, which is super important because you don't know when they're going to be making their purchasing decisions. So you want to keep your brand top of mind. So quick introduction from Feather. We are located in Gainesville, Florida. We've got about 95 employees right now. We will all be coming back in the office in July. I'm super excited about that. And we are a digital marketing company that works with associations and professional organizations. Before COVID, we were involved with about 4,000 conferences and trade shows. So we're very familiar with the value exchange and the reason that so many sponsors love trade shows. So first and foremost, your customers are online right now looking for solutions to their problems. And they can do research and they can make purchasing decisions from their mobile phones at this point. So whether they're on their desktop, their tablet, or their phone, they are considering who they want to do business with and who can help solve their problems. And if they don't know who you are, they won't consider you. So we have a new vehicle here with ad retargeting that allows you to get not just your brand, your logo, images about who you are, but your value proposition. The pain points that you solve, the problems that you solve for these people. And we want to keep that message in front of this audience as much as we can. So that way, when they are ready to make a purchasing decision, they can come straight to your website and either contact you, download something, whatever that might be. So it all starts with brand awareness at the very top of this marketing funnel. As I said, they can't come and consider you and go to your website to learn all the great things that you put up there for them if they don't know who you are. And then finally, you can convert by having them actually make a decision on your site. The ultimate conversion, of course, is a sale. But before that, there might be an email sign up, or they might fill out a form, click that contact us button. They might download a case study, view a video, any of the content that you're creating. This is a great vehicle to get that in front of a very targeted audience and drive them to a specific page on your site. So as Katie mentioned, if anybody has any questions, feel free to drop that in the chat. I'll be available afterwards as well if you want to send an email to everyone. Happy to help answer any specific questions you might have about this. But ad retargeting it's been very popular for several years now. But working with Feather through the World Council, you kind of have access to a technology that's being used by some really big giants like Google, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And so how this works is someone visits the World Council website just once, and from that point, we are able to start tracking who that person is, kind of in the internet sense. We don't necessarily know their name and occupation and all that type of information, but we at least know that we can recognize their cell phone, their laptop, or their tablet. So that way, after they leave our site, and they spend 99% of their internet activity outside the World Council website. So we're able to reach them when they're off doing something that might not even be pertaining to work. So you can keep your message in front of them on the weekends, at night, just when they're browsing their favorite websites and blogs. So after they leave the site, the cookie that we place on their website browser allows us to serve ads to them when they're on sites like the New York Times, Yahoo, any number of blogs, whether it be a mom and pop blog all the way up to these multinational sites that we're all very familiar with. So Feather reaches 95% of the consumer web. We use a series of ad exchanges so that wherever the World Council audience is going online, we can make sure that your ad is served to them. We use Amazon as an example because they are the giants in this space. If Cindy here visits Amazon, looks at a pair of shoes, but doesn't complete the purchase, it's very frustrating for them. They've done a lot of work marketing their shoes and getting her to come to the website. So if she leaves without completing that purchase, Amazon will serve her an ad to get her to come back, reminding her that she came and looked at she came and looked at those shoes to come back and complete the purchase. Now, ad retargeting as a mechanism or a marketing strategy is available on many sites right now. Almost any social platform that is collecting data will allow you to do this. So something like Google Ads, LinkedIn, Facebook. In fact, we're doing campaigns on sites like this on behalf of the World Council as we speak. But the only thing is, there's sort of a downside to broadly marketing on these sites. It's that you're reaching a very broad audience that might not be your ideal customer. So for instance, if you go to LinkedIn, you can do certain segmenting with demographics and things like that, but you're still reaching a huge swath of people. And essentially you're spending marketing dollars reaching people that are not qualified to purchase your product. Now, back to World Council, that's the reason that you're involved with this group, is they have a qualified audience. And not just the members, but their website draws prospects that might not become a regular member just yet, but are still making purchasing decisions in this space. So you can reach members, prospects, people that attend shows, and then you can also reach the people that will never attend a live event or even a virtual webinar, but they will visit the World Council site for various other resources that are put on the site by World Council. So I've got a screenshot here of the reporting mechanism. So once your campaign begins, you will be able to track all of the progress in real time. And that comes to you in the form of a link, which will take you to the live report for your specific campaign. So for instance, if we were to start your campaign on July 1st, you could click that link starting July 1st, and you could track the views, the reach, the clicks, all of this good data here that gives you an idea of who is viewing your ad, where they're located, and more particularly, what products or services that you offer that they're really interested in. So this updates in real time, so you can simply refresh the page as often as you like. We encourage people to bookmark the report, share it with their sales and marketing team. Anyone involved in this project, in your sales or your marketing efforts, is welcome to take a peek and see how the campaign's running. Hopefully you've got other campaigns running as well on other sites like Google and Facebook. So this will be a more targeted group that you can keep track of. To kind of walk through the report that you receive, you get the running tally of views or impressions. And so that will sort of show the percentage of your campaign. So in this case, they're at 99.74% done with the campaign because it was just set to be 50,000 impressions. And then we also show the total number of clicks, which in this case was 249. And in digital marketing, we call it a click-through rate. This is a really valuable way to see, which campaign is working well. And so the higher the click-through rate, obviously, the more effective the ads are, the more relevant they are to the audience. And so we see generally a 0.2 click-through rate. So this would be an above average campaign since they're getting almost 2.5 times the average amount that we're used to seeing. Difference between clicks and unique clicks. It's just unique is the number of individuals that click the ad. So this just means someone clicked the ad twice, and that might have happened 4 times. And then the reach shows you the total number of individuals who either saw or clicked your ad. So that tells you how many people am I reaching with this campaign. We get the activity heat map, shows you where throughout the country or the world the people are viewing your ad. The activity breakdown shows you the top websites or ad exchanges that are serving your ad. Just give you a rough idea of the websites that the World Council audience is visiting. The second part of the report, which is just essentially scrolling down, you can see each individual ad and how it's performing. So this is a really powerful way to optimize the campaign. This isn't necessarily something you want to just set and forget. You want to be engaged with the results because they're updating in real time, and you can see if a certain product or verbiage or a value proposition is really connecting with the audience or not. So if you're getting a really good click-through rate, that's a good indicator that the ad is a good match to this audience. If you're not, you can actually eliminate that ad or make edits to it in real time. So you can update the artwork overnight and have a new ad showing as soon as you can get it done. This allows you to do something called A/B testing, which is putting two messages side by side to the same audience and finding out which products or services they are more engaged with. You can probably see how this can be used in conjunction with events. So if you are going to be present at an event, it'd be a really great idea to start serving ads maybe a month and a half or so before the show. And then after the show happens, you've got 2 or 3 days there in person, and then you can have another month and a half, 2 months of brand exposure online, sort of following up with those leads that you met. If you're interested in keeping that message in front of that swath that you meet in person. You can schedule out the ad creatives in advance. So if you want to have a new message starting August 1st, and then maybe September, October, you want to have different messages as well, you can have your ad design team create those ads and send them over. We can have it all set and ready to go in advance. Here's a quick slideshow that shows some examples of ads that we have run in the past. We have done thousands of these campaigns, so we are happy to help answer any questions you might have about ad design. The 4 main elements of what goes into a good ad, which would be your logo, images, your value proposition, and your call to action. So we've done these for events, for individual products, services, things like that. So there's a lot of different ways that this can be used. It's just a matter of condensing your message into an ad that can follow this audience around. So as I mentioned earlier with the digital marketing funnel, we've got a few different objectives for the different campaigns, and they all start with brand awareness. You want to get your name out there and get people familiar with your brand before you ask for something a little bit heavier, like registering for your own webinar or downloading something or just visiting your site to do some consideration. So you want to start with brand awareness, help with your reach, get an idea of the number of people you're interacting with online. And then you can move on to some more advanced campaigns with a little bit stronger ask, whether that be just coming to the site to consider or coming to the site to convert in all of those ways we mentioned earlier. Filling out a form, downloading the latest case study, watching a video, contributing and giving something back to you, which will then give you leads that you can give to your sales and marketing team to follow up with. Getting started is super simple. You just simply pick your package. Katie's got the sort of media kit that she can send afterwards. It's got all the prices, the durations, and the number of impressions that will be served during that time. So pick your package, design the ads. We can send you the ad specs so that your graphic design team can create the ads to spec, so that way we can get the campaign started. And after that, we just launch the campaign and we do regular health checks with you to make sure that it is performing optimally. And we can make suggestions and edits. And it's sort of a collaborative effort to make sure that you're getting the results that you're looking for. So that is, I'll go ahead and stop my share. And I thought I saw a chat come up if somebody had a question. Oh no, looks like it was just a welcome message. So I'll go ahead and pass it back to Katie. Thanks for everyone listening, and I'm happy to answer any questions here or later.
Thanks, Mike. One question, is Feather up to date with the GDPR and all the compliance that comes with tracking data?
Yes, so that's a good question. I know at the end of 2020, Google made a big announcement about sort of phasing out third-party cookies. Thankfully, we are working directly on the World Council website. So we are working with first-party data. And so when those people visit, they are directly visiting your site. And there's a consent option when they first enter the website. So we are in compliance, and our team works really hard to make sure that we remain in compliance, since this is our business model. Great question. Oh, also, I meant to mention regarding reach, overall number of people. Right now, with World Council, we've got about 32,000 reachable people. So that's a pretty big group, and should represent an expansion from the people that your sponsors are currently advertising to and trying to reach. So that should be a really niche, qualified group that should be exciting to hear for sponsors.
Great. And let's say a sponsor wanted to just run a campaign in Asia. Are we able to target a certain people, or do we have to target everyone that is in the reachable campaign?
Oh, good question. So regarding segmenting, we start with the top of the funnel being everyone who's been to the World Council site. So that would be all 32,000 people that we can reach right now. But if there is a specific segment within your audience that your sponsor knows is their ideal customer, we can do certain things like filtering out certain pages, or creating a segment around certain pages, state, zip code, country. So there's a lot of fun ways that we can segment, but the general audience is 32,000, and from there we can sort of whittle it down if your sponsor has a more specific group they're trying to reach.
Okay, great. And then also, when you're running a campaign, can you constantly have different links? So let's say you wanted to have one ad size be showcasing your new ATMs, and then you wanted another ad size talking about different payment services you offer. You can be running separate links that go to different pages on your website, correct? It doesn't have to just be one landing page that you direct everyone to.
Absolutely. Yeah, great question. So serving the ad is the first part, but driving them to a specific page is a really valuable way for your sponsor to track the results from this campaign. So we show you the reporting of how many people have seen the ad, how many people have clicked. But once they land on your sponsor's site, there needs to be some sort of analytics, or some way for them to track how many people clicked. So if we tell you 300 people clicked, you need to do something on your site that allows you to track who came and what they did. So one of the really strong ways to do that is to have a different landing page for the different initiatives from your ad. So if you've got an ad marketing your ATM, you want to take that to a page that's specific to that ATM ad. It's a simple continuity. You want to keep the narrative clear for your visitors coming to your site.
Okay, great. Well, if there's no other questions, thank you so much, Mike, for jumping on this morning and explaining how Feather works. We've been using Feather for promoting our own events for the last 6 months, and so far it's been really great just tracking the data and seeing who's out there and expanding our market. Just a reminder that this webinar is recorded and will be up later today on World Council's YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day, everyone.